The Biden administration unveiled a new blueprint Tuesday outlining its latest strategy on immigration. The fact sheet released by the White House said, quote, "Success in building this fair, orderly, and humane immigration system won't be achieved overnight, especially after the prior administration's irrational and inhumane policies." The new blueprint comes just a day after the Biden administration said it will fast-track deportation for some migrant families who illegally crossed the U.S.-Mexico border. According to the Department of Homeland Security, the process is called expedited removal, which allows officials to deport a person without an immigration hearing. For more, let's bring in CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez. Hi there, Camilo. Why is the Biden administration reinstating these expedited deportations now? And can you just clarify, are we talking about families whose members were seeking asylum in this country? Is that considered an illegal border crossing?
Those are two great questions, Elaine. It's good to be with you. So to answer the first one, it is important to provide some context as to what this policy actually is. The Department of Homeland Security announced on Monday night that it will reinstate this expedited deportation process known as expedited removal, which was created in the 1990s under the Clinton administration, a Democratic administration, and passed by Congress and codified into law. It allows border officials to swiftly deport migrant families and adults encountered at the U.S.-Mexico border without proper documents and who fail to pass their initial asylum screenings. So it was seen as a way to deter unauthorized migration, and it has been used by Republican and Democratic administrations. The Department of Homeland Security said that families who are not expelled to Mexico under the current Title 42 public health order will be subject now to expedited removal. This obviously has garnered a lot of concern from immigrant advocates who have long been critical of this process because they argue that it tramples on the due process of asylum seekers and that it could lead to the quick removal of migrants who could face harm in their home countries. The Department of Homeland Security, however, has said that they will institute proper safeguards to make sure that these migrant families are screened for humanitarian protection if they have a claim for asylum. But it remains to be seen how widespread this policy will turn out to be, Elaine.
Yeah, I was going to say that was going to be my question, is how is that determination going to be made? So what actually then happens to migrants in these fast-tracked proceedings?
Sure. So migrants who are placed in this expedited deportation process are allowed to talk to an asylum officer if they express fear of returning to their home country. If they say to a Border Patrol agent that they could face persecution or torture in their home country. If they pass those initial interviews known as credible fear screenings with asylum officers, Elaine, they are allowed to present a full asylum case before an immigration judge. So they are supposed to be transferred into the interior of the U.S. and allowed to continue their cases either in detention, which the Biden administration has generally opposed for families, or with their respective sponsors or other relatives here in the U.S. Those who fail those interviews, Elaine, are supposed to be quickly repatriated to their home countries because the administration determines that they have no valid or legitimate claim for humanitarian refuge. So it is a balancing act, I think, that the Biden administration is trying to balance here. They believe that those who have meritorious claims for humanitarian relief should be allowed to make a case for asylum, but those who don't should be swiftly removed as a way to deter unauthorized migration.
So we're learning of this policy at the same time the White House released a blueprint today of its immigration agenda. Camilo, what other asylum and border policies can we expect from the administration in the future?
Yes, the administration said in this blueprint, Elaine, that it will seek to task asylum officers rather than immigration judges to fully adjudicate asylum claims. Right now, as I outlined earlier, asylum officers only conduct these initial credible fear interviews that serve as the initial process before they turn into a full-on proceeding before an immigration judge. But the Biden administration wants these asylum officers who are trained in humanitarian law to fully adjudicate these cases so they can alleviate the historic backlog faced by the immigration courts. There are currently more than 1 million pending cases before the immigration courts here in the U.S., Elaine, and the Justice Department, which oversees these courts, has struggled to reduce this backlog for years, dating back to the Bush administration, and has only grown over the years, and officials have struggled to cope with it. So the Biden administration has also asked Congress for more money to hire more asylum officers, but also more judges. So it remains to be seen, obviously, if Congress authorizes that expenditure, but the Biden administration has said that it will unilaterally task asylum officers with these asylum adjudications.
Such a complex issue. Camilo Montoya Galvez for us. Camilo, thank you.
Thanks, Elaine.